Hello and welcome to the CinePhellas. That's right, CinePhellas, the only place where a piece of bubble gum is like Star Wars because it's chewy. See? All right, that was pretty good.
That was good.
All
I like
right.
that. I like it.
All right, so let's talk about this movie, King Richard, because, you know, the Fresh Prince, he's a king now. And for those who don't know, King Richard follows the story of the father of Venus and Serena Williams. And if you don't know who they are, then, well, watch tennis. And they're pretty much like the Michael Jordan of tennis. And King Richard, I forget his Richard Williams, excuse me. And what he does is he pretty much is on the Compton streets or playing tennis in Compton. And from Compton, he wins a whole bunch of championships with his daughters. And I actually really do like this movie a lot, Kevin, but I'm gonna take it over to you now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I thought this was great. Well, I was telling my family at Thanksgiving, this movie is basically does for Will Smith what Good Will Hunting did for Robin Williams. It basically encompasses everything that we love about Will Smith, like Robin Williams did with Good Will Hunting, and it puts him in a very positive role model type of role as a father. But he's not a perfect dude. He is flawed. He is annoying. Like the wife, I forgot her name, but the wife was also great. I love the wife. She has to keep him in check at times throughout the movie, and I kind of like that because he tries to control everything, and she's like, no, these are our daughters. It's not just your daughter.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you think about Will?
Oh, I like Will Smith. It's funny because he was doing that like dad bod stuff, and now he actually is a dad, yes. But I thought Will Smith, his performance was really good. Like even his mannerisms were exactly like the father.
Yes.
And I kind of thought his performance, I don't want to say it was like mocking, but some parts I felt like he was just trying just a little too hard with the voice because he was trying to sound like the guy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought Will Smith was perfect. And I honestly think he could win an award.
That's what I would say. If he's going to get the Oscar for anything, it's going to be for this.
Now, do you think it's because it's a lack of competition, or do you think if it were any other normal year?
We have a lot of good performances. I heard that what's the guy's name? Benedict Cumberbatch. I heard he's amazing in Power of the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for that one. And all the Oscar movies start coming out now. They're going to come out in full force over the next month. And so, but as of now, Will Smith will definitely get the nomination, and it's deserved because, as you said, he did the mannerisms. And one thing I look for, he walks differently too. He walks like Richard Williams too, and I thought that was really, really cool.
He does that old man walk where it's
like that. And
you're a better man than that, Jon Bernthal. Yeah.
But outside of Will Smith, man, one performance I really enjoyed and surprised me, and like it taps into potential of this actor to do other stuff, like maybe like a romantic comedy, because this actor is always in roles that are so depressing or scumbaggy, is Jon Bernthal. I liked him in this movie. I thought he was very charming. He was very cool as the owner of the tennis place that they were training at.
Right. And with Jon Bernthal too, I feel like, it's what you're saying. He always plays like a gritty character, but everyone in this movie is a shade of gray. I feel like that's the best way to put it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that humanizes them,
Yeah. But it was, he was fun. It wasn't like he was crying or wanting to kill himself like in The Punisher or in Wolf of Wall Street, where it's just like a straight up piece of shit.
Yeah. But how did you feel about the other cast though, Venus and Serena Williams?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I liked that those roles, they didn't overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
Like lesser actresses or actresses who were showy, I think would have went over the top with those roles. They were sisters, and like one thing I really liked in the movie is it's something else the director and writer could have done and to screw it up is when Serena was the one who was asked to get coached by that one guy, right? In the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Lesser film, they could have basically went down a road where Serena and Venus basically start hating each other. No, it's a reflection how Richard basically raised them. They're supportive of each other no matter what. And I thought that was another great thing. This movie is very, very positive. Like there's outside of superheroes, all these movies coming out, they're depressing, they're bleak, they're gray. This was a nice family movie. This is something that you can take I'm sure it made money over Thanksgiving. It's going to be in theaters or, it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I saw it on Thanksgiving.
Did you go to you went to the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it on the treadmill. Yeah, no, on my little phone.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought the sisters were great. I thought the wife, I forgot her name, escapes me. I thought she was great. Yeah, and I know, we were discussing before the video that you have not read the book. If you read the book, and anyone who reads the book, they will see how much Will Smith kind of pulled from his own father and
Mhm.
put it into Richard. Because in the book, I highly recommend it to our our watchers, to read Will Smith's autobiography. I'm listening to audio on the audio book, but he goes into how his father was very strict, had a regimen, he came from a military background, and everything was always basically A, B, C, D. You got to do that in order, and that's how you live a successful life. And that's how Will Smith basically has succeeded based upon what I've listened to in the autobiography.
All right, cool. So when it comes to the book, you're getting jiggy with it.
Yes, he basically says that in the book. He's like, I could have basically opened this book wrapping the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme, but I didn't want to do it because this book contains domestic violence and other stuff. But he does do it in the book. I think he does it about 3 hours into the book, and it was great. But yeah, I thought the tennis teams were well filmed. I also liked that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
what did you think?
no, especially with the athlete from Spain. That was
Yes,
like almost like an action movie. You can feel the intensity.
yes.
And when she went to the bathroom, I'm like, oh, I don't like you now. Well, she didn't even go to the bathroom. She just took a long break. How did you feel about early on in the movie? Because when they were in Compton, they made Compton like a rough place, obviously.
Yes,
And I don't want to spoil anything, but he wanted to kill a certain character,
yes.
and that scene
So,
like really got me. I was like, damn, I did
yeah.
not expect that.
Yeah, that's another thing with the realism of the movie. I like that. It shows, I don't live in Compton. I only go off what I read and what I see in movies. And I thought they portrayed it as like, it's a rough neighborhood. It's a very rough neighborhood. And that's why he wanted them out. And that's why he always kept those kids busy. And that's why, everyone knows Serena and Venus, but all those 5 kids in that house became successful. Like one became a doctor, one became a physicist, I think.
Yeah,
And
but
one
what?
thing I also liked was the presentation of kids that age when they lose. Every movie, it's like they always have good sportsmanship. There was a lot of bad sportsmanship in that movie
Mhm.
of the kids losing. I like that because, kids don't know how to lose, especially if they're good. Like a lot of those opponents that Serena and Venus both beat, they probably weren't expecting them. They're like, oh, they're from Compton. How good could it be? They're, tennis is an elite sport, as like the movie keeps saying, and that's what makes this story, hit even harder. That this guy not even pulled him out of the ghetto, but he's, instilled really good values and work ethic and this overall sportsmanship. Like the part with the Disney movie, he made them watch the Disney movie 3 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's another thing too. You're just going back to his kids. They mentioned he had other kids in the
Yes.
movie, and the wife was like, that's why I'm rare. I'm staying with you. Most women wouldn't do that. So like going back to earlier, it's like he's a shade of gray. But there
Yes.
was a part where I'm like, maybe I've just seen too many Jerry Springer Maury episodes, but I'm like, I kind of want to know about those other kids.
Yeah, me too. Like how many? Like did they say how many in the movie?
Well, it's plural. They said kids,
Yeah.
so it's more than one at least.
Yeah. So maybe for our listeners, you can look that up on Wikipedia. You can email us or something.
And they do have I don't want to say the cliches, but like the beat for beat, the formula of, they show how hard he is. He works the night shift. He's getting bullied. His kids are getting sexually harassed, or at least the oldest one. And it's like, and I really do like the struggle stories, and that's stuff that people eat up, especially during this time of year. So if somebody likes that, oh, they're definitely gonna love this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Overall, in closing, I highly recommend it. I personally like Will Smith. If you don't like Will Smith, your mind's not going to be changed by this movie. But if you like Will,
I think
it
it
will.
will. Yeah. Like Bob. So I know you hate Will Smith, but this might turn you around.
We have to talk about this on the podcast in about half hour.
Yeah. But I love the movie, and one thing too that I just want to talk about is it's beautifully shot. Like the tennis scenes.
Yes.
Like I'm trying to think of sports movies. It's been a really long time, but they're not filmed that well. And I forget the director's name. Reginald Green, something like that. No, there's this criticism where it's the people that think that Will Smith might be too light in complexion to play, King Richard, but he did a really good job. And how many people are going to say no to, oh, Will Smith is going to play you in a movie? I don't want him.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was. great. I thought he was great in this role.
There was a rumor, I don't know if you read this, I saw a YouTube video. At one point, they wanted Idris Elba to be King Richard.
I could see that. But I don't think he would have brought the warmness out as much as Will Smith did. This is a movie that Will Smith was probably made because of Will Smith. Oh no, this is this guy's first screenplay.
It is okay.
Yeah, but he worked on that movie Side Effects from 2013.
Oh, okay.
You see that one?
No, I never saw that.
Oh, it's a good movie. But
I'll check it out.
Yeah, but yeah. Overall, if we're doing the hair pieces, I give this a solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I really enjoyed this. It could be just the lack of movies, or I'm just in a good mood because it's the holidays. But I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I really did like it.
Nice. Awesome.
Because other than the few little cliches that I had, like, oh, there's shades of gray, but it's not really an issue. I do like it. Yeah. And one other thing that makes them, like, I guess, shades of gray too, is that because Will Smith does use people a lot. Like his first coach, he straight up said, like, yeah, I'm using you. And then even Jon Bernthal, just going back to him, where he's like, oh, I paid for this house. And he's like, no, you're a better man than that. And I'm like, well, he's not lying. But yeah, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, and I really do think people will like this, and I would actually recommend it to anyone. Like,
yes, me too.
There's people who are going to say things like, "Oh, it might be a tennis movie, it might be a black movie," but it's none of those things. You can watch it. Anything.
It's a movie about the human spirit.
Exactly, and
it doesn't matter if they're Indian, black, Hispanic. It's a good story. It's a good story, and this one's a very good story.
And I didn't know that Venus and Serena were so young when they started. I did not know that. I thought.
Yeah, I didn't really know that much about Serena Venus. I didn't know Richard was this crazy with them. And
no, with his 78-page plan that everyone said was crap. So, but yeah, a 5 out of 5 for me, and I would recommend this to anyone. I know it's on HBO Max, so you don't have to go to the theater, but definitely check it out, especially for the holidays. And just one last thing, and then I'm done. One thing I do after a movie is over, I love to eavesdrop on people. And there were people who were like, man, that's a good movie. And there was this lady behind me, she's like, oh, I remember when all this happened and when it was on the news. And I just love hearing stuff like that. I'm not even kidding. There were some people next to me who were so into the movie. They were like, what? Oh my God, like just really reacting. And I love seeing stuff like that. So if you want that reaction, you might want to go to the movies and see people, but you can check it on HBO Max. Yeah, no,
just one more thing. Your reactions that you heard, I heard that reaction when I saw Resident Evil, but it was the opposite. It's like, why would you do that to Resident Evil? What the hell is wrong with people? But yeah, what's up?
We'll save Resident Evil for another,
for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening to us right now, in about 25 minutes, we're going to do a podcast. So I'll talk about Resident Evil. So,
all right, but if you really want people to watch the podcast, we can't just say Resident Evil. We have Resident Evil and some other stuff.
Oh yes, other stuff. Yes.
Spider-Man.
We haven't seen each other in a month, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Kevin. Well, like Turkey Day, this review has left me stuffed. Until next time, I wish I had a beer, but this is gonna do.
Me too. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.